And what's the name of the place you're from in London?
Croydon, yeah.
Croydon.
Yeah, Croydon, yeah.
I heard that's like a rough area. That's like
Yeah.
the
But
hood.
that's like most of South London. Anywhere you go in South London, whether it's Croydon, Brixton, Fulton Eves, Streatham, yeah, London's flipping active. Do you know what I mean? In terms of that gang shit, like London's just as much as a hub for that as New York would be, or as anywhere in the world, really. Yeah.
What was your experience growing up there?
My experience, I feel like I had your most typical South London like experience of like going to school, going to college, and being a fucking hood rat. Long story short, just a hood rat. As in, I remember I'll go school, come back from school, you go straight home and you're back out. And furthermore, sometimes you're not even out. But sometimes man's on the block all day in your school uniform. Like you go to school and then from school you go to the block and you're there in your school uniform all day. So like I just remember just being a hood rat. Like that's what we call it. Like my big sister's friends will see me say, "Oh, go home, Junior, you little hood rat," like, and just indulging in everything that like a young black kid in South London, like going where a man grows up from, does. And to be fair, it's funny because looking back on it, like now it's like, wow, shit, wow, we were flipping reckless and stupid and involved in all. But at the time, it was so normal, like it was so normal, like.
So normal to get into trouble? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Trouble was normal. Trouble was part of man's lifestyle, and it's only now that it's like, oh shit, no. But back then it wasn't. No one would bat that eyelid. Like a robbery, a stabbing, a fight in the middle of the road, jumping in a cab and flipping, bumping the cab driver, ordering pizza and fucking robbing the pizza man and taking his ped. That was so bog standard to like.
So you took his pet?
Yeah, his moped, yeah.
I was like, why are you stealing people's animals? Like, his ped,
his moped, yeah, his scooter, yeah.
Okay.
So like your classic kind of antisocial, like little dumb fucking stupid shit that man used to do. Like, do you know what I mean? So.
How do you not like Ed Sheeran? How do you pick at Ed Sheeran?
Do you know his argument with Ed is that Ed uses culture for his own gain. That's his like you because the Taking Back to London record was a massive hit back home. So that I think that, and obviously I wouldn't say that's grime, but it's a tempo and we're spitting, and do you know what I mean? And like it's grime to an extent, do you know what I mean? Like your grime purists will want to fight me for that. Like, no, but it's grime to an extent. It's a rhythm. It's moving at 140 BPM, and it's sonically it's grime. Ed's voice on it, people like that's the bit that it's not so. Do you know what I mean? And he has his own personal reasons for attacking Ed. But obviously, I've always said like I know Ed. I ain't working with no fucking culture vulture or no fucking.
Ed's not that at all.
That's not Ed, you know what I mean? So I've always like, but it's so mad because I understand Wiley's case in terms of wanting to protect what he's built, wanting to protect like black music and grime and 100%, and he doesn't want any, because grime has been threatened a lot in the past by like commercial entities, or like it's been watered down, or they've grabbed things out of grime and taken it. So I understand the stance of like someone saying, yo, like, we're not having that no more. But I was like, yo, this ain't the case here. You've picked me and Ed, and I was like, this ain't the case here, bro. Like, you're mad. If they're, in terms of for the culture, like, and all of that, I said, bruv, and to be fair, he knows that. He's not stupid. He knows that, innit? Like, but we became the brunt of a lot of his jokes. At first it was Ed, and then he slowly started Storm, and then he's kind of making it Stormzy and Ed, because me and Ed are having a lot of success together recently. I take him back to London, own it. So he started putting me in the conversation, and to which I responded, innit? And then that's how we ended up with like World War fucking III, like forefront now. I get way more backlash for like my political stance, and like my views on blackness, like how I talk about blackness and how I endorse blackness and how I stand in my blackness. That's what I get the stick for back.
Now you from Ghana, originally, right? So how was your upbringing in Ghana helped you on your journey?
Being Ghanaian, having a Ghanaian mum, like we have certain morals and a certain attitude and certain values in us that like I always say you can't buy that. You know what I mean? You can't like even there's a people always sometimes talk about my humility, and I always say that only comes from like being Ghanaian and knowing that like there's certain behaviors that we don't really rate as Ghanaians. You know what I mean? It's jokes. Cause me and Flips is Ghanaian as well. And we always say like, you know, when you hear about people stealing, like, oh, someone stole from the house, we think, whoa, like, as a Ghanaian, that's meant what? You went to someone's house and you stole, like, fuck, like, what? Like, that's crazy. So there's certain things that's just instilled in me as a man, and like, yeah, and as a human that like, you can't buy. Like, us Ghanaians, I always say we're like the greatest on earth. Like, we're very slow and very chilled, and like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's as integral to me as being British and being a Londoner. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Have they ever clashed? Like you run in the streets of London, and you might have to steal.
No,
you might have to be a thief in the streets.
To be fair, that's so funny because growing up, like, yeah, so because I guess there's bare things man would have done when we was younger. But the funny thing is, I know, but me and all my Ghanaian friends, there's stuff we do on the roads that you ain't ever going back to tell your mum. That like, there's stuff, the way, we're different, how we are in the house and how we are, as in, that's why you get like, and not even just Ghanaian mums, just mums in general all over London who will tell you, my boy that's really, really fine boy, really nice boy, but you're thinking, bruv, my man he is a flipping menace, bruv, like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, because we're very respectful in it, and we're very respectful in that way, but I guess no mum can control what their kid goes and does on the street, innit? So it's a very dark underlying kind of like more sinister, like systematic establishment. Do you know what I mean? British Empire, all the Commonwealth. It's a very deep-rooted kind of racism. So when I come out and I say, yeah, Britain's racist, it sounds like that sounds like the most. That's like a bomb of a soundbite to some
You're
people.
challenging the system.
Yeah, but that sounds like you would think I said something absolutely crazy, like Britain is a racist society, or there's racism in Britain. That's like, whoa, like people, how dare you? And it's like, yo, I'm a black man. That's a Muslim woman, that's a black woman, we are on the brunt of it, and so let's have a conversation about it, innit? Like I always say, bruv, like, call a spade, like, call racism, call blackness, do you know what I mean? So
call a cracker a cracker.
All right, so, bro, you wanna end, bro, we'll be in the Daily Mail tomorrow, bro.
Okay.
But
instead of signing his own record label, has used his own label to top the charts and change the face of music in this country. That's exactly what he did with his first album, Gang Signs and Prayer. Hang on, you're getting ahead of me here. I haven't given the name yet. That was just a clue. He's one of London's most inspiring young men, encouraging his listeners to vote, to pray, and, very importantly, to speak openly about mental health and their issues and problems. Whether it's speaking out against racism, supporting the victims of Grenfell, he's remained absolutely true to his roots and committed to his values throughout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our solo artist of the year, Stormzy.
Yo, what's going on?